Citizen TV, the citizen's power. 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 Citizen TV, the citizen's power.
That's our Ministry of Transport. My charger. You don't know where I put it. But I think I'm money is 77%.
You won't even see it. The guy from scholarship secretary.
What do you want to?
No, I said that's your friend. Oh, yeah, my friend. You don't see me. My check You forgot it. You forgot it.
Kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, my name is Frederick Obeng Adom, MP for Upper West Achim Constituency, Deputy Minister for Transport, and I'm here with...
My name is Mabel Sego, the Chief Director for Ministry of Transport.
My name is Derek Watting, Chief Internal Auditor, Ministry of Transport.
Good morning. My name is David Osafo-Adonthing. I'm the Acting Director General for the National Road Safety Authority.
My name is Mercy Pinto Kwam, the Accountant, National Road Safety Central Region.
All right. We'll have one issue in paragraph 718, and Deputy Ranking Member will take it.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Minister, the National Road Safety Authority, the Cape Coast Office, failed to deduct 10% of withholding taxes totaling some 5,250 from payment of allowances of various programs and activities undertaken by the officers of the authority. First, I want to find out from you what has happened to this infraction.
Thank you very much. I'll leave for the Director to take that.
Thank you very much. Honorable, the taxes have been deducted, and as were deducted, have been retrieved and paid to DRA accordingly.
And you have finished the... When did you do that?
It is attached, and that has also been submitted.
When did you do that? When?
Okay. But we have some coming all the way from December. This one, 13th December 2019, 14th October 2019, a couple of them. Yes.
Auditors are able to confirm or otherwise?
Honorable Chair, the said amount has been paid to GRE. Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll be all for Ministry of Transport. You are discharged. That's our Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Honorable Kokwam Prechim Sapon, MP for Mampo and the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs. On my immediate right is Ambassador Clearant, Acting Chief Director. Next to him is Mr. Kingsford Amwako, our Director of Finance and Accounts. And on my immediate left is Mr. Omega, Director of Audit and Inspectorate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have a report on some issues involving your missions and the headquarters. So we start with the headquarters, paragraph 651 of the report, and the Vice Chairman will take it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Now we are talking about undue delay in execution of a project. This started in 2007 at the contract price of 1.4 million. And this was reviewed in 2017. In 2019, this was revised to 7.9 million Ghana cedis. And he had paid about 90% of the contract when this thing hasn't been completed. What is the status of this Edu Lodge guest house?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Edu Lodge project was handed over to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration by the contractor on 29th October 2021.
But this took 13 years to be completed.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The problem with that was that the contractor at some point was not well. He fell ill, and it delayed the continuation of the project for a while. But it has been handed over. There's completion of work certificate. We have evidence to prove that. And as far as we are concerned, we are still in talks with the contractor so that we can finish off the rest of the payment at some point, as early as possible.
So a project that was supposed to cost 1.4 million, we ended up paying over 7.9 million, and just because we couldn't we have abrogated the contract and awarded it to somebody else?
I'll hand over to the Director of Finance to complete the...
Thank you, Honorable. The project was awarded in 2007, but I think it was abandoned just after 2008. So between 2008 to about 8 years or so, it was abandoned. Then it was resurrected somewhere in 2017, hence the revaluation. Obviously, a contract that was awarded 7 years back would naturally would not be gone for that 1 million or so that it was awarded. And the consultants on the project were PWD Prestige. So they called for a revaluation, and it was done, and the project was resumed. So that is the history behind the long delay.
Auditors, could you confirm that if this project is handed over now?
Honorable Chair, the project has been handed over to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration on 29th October 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, we are hearing two stories. One, we've been told that the abandonment was voluntary from about 2008 till about 2017. Then in the earlier case, we are told that the abandonment was as a result of the illness of the contractor. So my initial question was to ask whether the contract was awarded to an individual, a sole proprietorship, as a result of which when the sole proprietor is unwell, the business suffers, or it was awarded to a company properly called, so that even if a director is unwell, the company could execute contract that it entered into properly. But if you are telling us that the abandonment was voluntary by the ministry itself, for some reason for about nearly 10 years, because from 2008 to 2017, that's nearly 10 years. And so I'm confused as a member of this committee. I'm totally confused. Because we are concerned about the disparity in the original contract price vis-a-vis what we are paying for now.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The contract was abandoned. It was awarded in 2008. It was abandoned. In 2017, it was abandoned, but the ministry decided to revisit and do the project again. What our Chief Director was alluding to is when they started between 2007 and the completion date of 2021, somewhere along the line, the contractor fell ill. So it's not two different stories. This is...
Director, these are two different stories. Somebody who validly entered into a contract with the state and cannot deliver, what were the terms of the contract? What were the terms of the original contract that when a contracting party cannot deliver because of some cause, some factor, you couldn't terminate to re-award to another? We have to wait for 11 years for somebody to get well in order to deliver on a contract. You see, I keep saying, this committee, what we do, in addition to reviewing the audit report, we want to ensure reform. When you give these reasons and people hear, they will keep doing some of these things. As senior members, you don't have to speak like this. Because it leads to wastage. And I was hoping that you will say that because of some of this, you took steps to execute the project and it won't happen again. But you want to defend it. How do you say that somebody fell sick because of that? A contract with the state couldn't be delivered in 10 years.
Chairman, I want some clarification. If you say the project was abandoned, what exactly do you mean? Was he written to stop work, or he voluntarily stopped, work on the project? Because if it was abandoned for 10 years, then some communication might have gone on. He couldn't have stopped on his own. If he stopped on his own, then I don't think the review is justified.
I can't speak to the circumstances within which led to the abandonment within the 8 years. But what I can state is the facts as it is. It was stopped just after 2008, that is 2009 to be precise. But the ministry decided to resume to do the contract again. And so it was abandoned between those periods. But I don't have the facts to speak to why it was abandoned. But we went back to the project. It was revalued by the PWD Prestige at that value, and it was completed within the time frame for which they started between 2017 and 2021, which it was handed over.
Chairman, thank you very much. Was it the same contractor who got this contract awarded in 2007 that was re-awarded in 2017?
Yes.
So the ministries renegotiated and revalued the contract. I'm sure you had a file. You had a file for that project. In that file, what was stated by the ministry as a reason for abandoning the project? Because there should be something in the file. A whole ministry cannot exist without a file on a project of that. So there should be a file. There should be a document in the file stating the reasons for abandoning the project, whether it was the ministry that wrote or there's no such thing in the file. Did you find something in renegotiating this contract?
I believe there should be something, but I say I can't speak to that because I am not privy to that information. Thank you.
Did you receive the Auditor General's report in relation to these issues before coming here?
Yes, we did.
Please, how long have you been in the ministry?
Since 2017.
So since 2017, you received this report. You know this is an issue that you will be answering to. And you know there was revaluation of the contract. And you did not check all these details. You didn't pick that file. But you are here to answer a matter to such an important issue?
Personally, I didn't. It is not within my remit. It's within the estates. But if the information can be provided later.
Then you should have come with the estate, knowing that you are coming to answer a matter relating with where the estate took a decision on. Why didn't you come with the estate officer if you don't have information to respond to this particular issue?
Well, probably maybe the chairman should direct that you bring us information on this very project later. I think that will help.
Vice Chairman.
All right.
I think that is the best way because we are not satisfied with the information.
Definitely, we are
So
not.
the person who has the information must appear and respond to the details.
Can you give? We'll give you 1 week for you to give us the details on why this thing was revised. All right.
We will comply, sir.
Thank you. The next infraction is on paragraph 659, and that's the deputy ranking.
Thank you very much, Chairman. This has to do with some unretired imprest, 100,170 of Saudi Rihal. There's a okay. Don't worry. So we'll come to that.
Hold on. I'm sorry. There's an uneconomic rent payment, $2.8 million and 1.79 euros. Now the recommendation over here is we therefore reiterated our earlier recommendation that management of the mission should liaise with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration to consider the acquisition of permanent accommodation through mortgage for home-based staff of the mission. Now, when you look at some of these rents, Addis Ababa, we are paying $278,000 for rent for 1 year. Ankara, $402,000 US dollars. Those ones are euros, I'm sorry. And Kinshasa, for example, is 225. What says you, Ministry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In respect of the mission's properties abroad and their use for purposes of chancery, the properties are typically situated in prime areas of the host country, which are comparatively expensive. This then can apply to Addis Ababa as it may apply to Ankara, as it may apply to other capitals like Paris and so on. Now, in order to address the implications of this matter, the ministry, or the minister, I should say, solicited a 50 million Société Générale loan facility through the Ministry of Finance to renovate, build, and purchase properties for the ministry. And this was with the sole purpose of owning our own accommodation and reducing the cost of rent. This has considerably reduced some of the rent costs of the ministry. So efforts have been made over the years, Mr. Chair. The acquisition of mortgages remains the ministry's strategic objective, and in view of that, the ministry is exploring all avenues to achieve this objective. There still remains a lot to be done with regard to the renovation and purchase. We admit that, and therefore, with those that we still haven't been able to purchase, there's still a lot of effort. We are trying to get another loan facility. We haven't been successful yet, but we are still on course to do so. But with those that we have been able to acquire, we can testify that the rent issue has been eliminated. So some effort has been made, sir.
You have 21 missions over here.
I'm sorry, sir.
You have 21 missions.
Yes, please.
That were cited.
Yes, please.
How many of those have you been able to acquire? I mean, when you are paying rent of $250,000
yes, sir,
per year, you could probably get a mortgage.
Yes, sir.
And pay far less than that.
Yes, sir.
And within maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 years, it will be our property.
Yes, sir.
How many of these have you purchased, or you've gotten mortgages or something? The
Yes,
21 missions.
So the issue is not for want of trying. I can take, for instance, the example of Switzerland, where we had a mission there for over 50 years, and it was only recently that we were able to acquire the property.
Sir, please. You have 21 missions.
Yes, sir.
How many of these have you acquired the properties, or maybe gotten a mortgage for that? Look at number 20 at Abu Dhabi. We are paying 861,000 euros a year. That's a rental accommodation for 9 home-based staff.
So
now let me ask the question again,
yes,
please.
Yes.
How many of these missions, 21 missions, have we acquired these properties instead of paying rent?
Mr. Chair, I'm trying to answer the question, but I think in doing so, we are looking at whether it's been possible for us to do so over the years. And we did acquire a 50 million Société Générale facility, and we employed the 50 million Société Générale facility to the best of our ability. It was not able to cater for the 21 missions. We did our very best with the facilities, sir. And then what I'm trying to say is that what we applied the Société Générale facility to, we were able to complete certain missions, but only because the cost of the missions were such in building them that it could only do for 3 missions that we are mentioning. And we are still trying to complete other missions still on the Société Générale. We haven't completed yet, sir. So we did our very best.
Sir, I'm sorry to cut you short.
Yes, sir.
The question is simple. You claim you got 50 million loan or Société Générale. That's not what I'm asking you about. They have cited 21 missions, and this is uneconomic rent payment. The question is, whatever loan that you got, how many of these missions did you acquire the properties? You are talking about renovations and other things.
No, sir. Respectfully, sir. With due respect.
So, of the 50 million, how many of these missions, 21 missions, listed here, did you acquire the properties?
We acquired Japan. We acquired Mali. We acquired South Korea. We acquired Addis. We acquired Switzerland. And
let me do it one more time, please. Addis Ababa, did you acquire it or not?
We are funding the chancery, please.
You are what?
We are building the chancery.
What about Ankara?
No.
You are building the
chancery, please.
Chancery at Addis.
Addis, yes, please.
Out of the 50 million.
Yes, please.
You're using part of that.
Yes, please. It's not completed.
It's not completed.
Yes, sir.
Is allocation for that project out of the 50 million going to complete that project?
No, please.
So which means that if after the funds is exhausted, if you don't have additional funds, you will not complete that project?
We will use our IGF, please.
Okay.
But in any case, as much as possible, we would. The objective is to complete the projects.
Chairman, thank you.
But having said that, please, Mr. Chair, if I may, there are some other projects where we started from the ground up to completion, and I can mention the mission where I was in Switzerland, which was completely funded.
What is Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, what is the government policy on this accommodation issue for our missions?
The government policy, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The government policy is to acquire properties for all the missions, residency, chancery, and that for the officers. So that is the master plan. But the reality on the ground is it is not easy for a foreign mission to get mortgage in these foreign countries. It's a tough one. So far, we haven't succeeded. And as the Chief Director said, we are exploring a whole range of avenues to try and raise the needed funds. We are looking at Société Générale Chapter 2, and we are trying. We've made some good progress, and we are quite hopeful that we will get there. But then I will also want to appeal to you, Mr. Chairman, and the committee members, that when it gets to the point where the ministry presents the request, obviously to Parliament, we will want you to stand shoulder to shoulder with us and support us to the end, so that we'll be able to get our hands on the funds and be able to undertake the project that we want to undertake, for which we are being questioned this morning.
What stage have you reached in the Société Générale Chapter 2? What stage have you reached? I'm asking this because I worked on the first one as the chairman of the finance committee in 2015-2016. The loan was approved. I moved the motion. The loan was approved in 2016. So 2016 to date, we're in the 7th year. If you're talking about Chapter 2, I want to know the stage you have reached.
Mr. Chairman, we have been talking to a whole range of financial sources. And
so you mentioned Société Générale Chapter 2.
When I use
that is why I'm asking specific question.
Société Générale themselves have expressed interest that should we approach them, they are prepared to consider the Chapter 2.
So you haven't approached them yet?
We have. But we are not restricting ourselves only to Société Générale.
So the approach you have made to Société Générale, who are willing to support, what stage have you reached in the discussion?
Okay. Mr. Chairman, we are only at the embryonic stage.
Chairman, I need a bit of education. The rent for home-based staff. Can you educate us on that? What does it mean? Are they Ghanaians or those who live in the various countries?
Thank you. It's the home-based staff, those who are posted abroad from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and typically are put into rented accommodation, because we do not have our own accommodation in all the countries, enough to satisfy the home-based staff. So they are in rented accommodation. home-based staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, please.
Chairman, thank you. You see, don't create the impression that we don't want you to rent. Nobody is saying that. You have to rent to serve our interest in those missions. The problem is the auditors are describing the rent as uneconomic. That is where the issue is. It's not as if Parliament is not interested in you taking commercial accommodation and rendering your services. But they are saying that you're not putting the amount of monies we are spending. We don't have value for money. That is where the audit, that is the issue the audit is raising. So if I see you defending it vigorously, I'm worried. It means you won't desist from it. I want to hear you that you are looking for alternative accommodations that are slightly cheaper, which will help you. But you are saying that because they are located in the central business district, they are so expensive. You are not telling the committee that you are looking for accommodations that are quite distant from the CBD, which are priced lower. That's what we want to hear. So we get worried. Don't defend some of these things.
But I want to find out from you, Chief Director, can a ministry like a foreign, like Ghana, can Ghana engage in mortgage? Ghana as a state engage in mortgage in another country? Is it possible?
There are two questions here. Maybe I can just go quickly onto this one. I'll come to the other one. For the mortgage, we have tried, we have attempted. In the various countries to which I was posted, there wasn't a time that we didn't try to acquire mortgage. The banks always came back to insist first and foremost on the sovereign guarantee, for which we have to refer that matter to the Ministry of Finance through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And in most cases, those conditions have not been met. So we've not been able to acquire mortgage on those grounds, mostly. Secondly, the look at the fact that we are diplomats and all the privileges and protections which shroud a diplomat, and some banks, and I think I should say most of the banks, are unwilling to engage with diplomats where they feel that they will not get their money back, and we can't enforce it, and they can't enforce it.
So probably what I would suggest is that explain to the auditors, because I foresee such challenges. Because if somebody is giving you mortgages, it comes with securities. And if he cannot guarantee that you would pay, it becomes problematic. And you know that you come with a lot of privileges. You can decide whether to pay or not. So please explain to them so that they understand that they understand the difficulty in getting mortgages. Whilst as a state, we look at means of getting our permanent residences for our staffs abroad. I think that would solve this problem.
Well noted, sir. Well noted. Thank you very much.
Chairman, I take it from there.
Please. Yes, please, if it's possible, there was another question from the Honorable on the issue of the uneconomic rent, and I would invite the Director for Finance to respond to that.
Thank you, Chair. One of the points with the diplomatic institutions is that you cannot choose, in certain jurisdictions, you cannot choose where you want to go and live. Per the Geneva Convention, the host country can tell you where to live, and mostly you live at those areas where security can be assured. And that is it. And those don't come cheap. And the term uneconomic in relation, let me give you an example. We have a reciprocal rent agreement with Cuba. So we pay for Cubans here whilst they give us accommodation over there. And the Cubans that we house them at the most affluent places. With all due respect, you will not take them to some places I will not mention, which are very cheap. But that is it. So if you look at it, the same thing that we are doing here for the Cubans, they do it over there for us. And it is
perhaps let me find out from the auditors. They did audit. Why they describe these ruins as uneconomic? It may lay the matter to rest. So auditors, what were your comparative findings?
Honorable Chair, we were comparing with maybe whether the ministry having their own property, which was more cheaper than renters. Thank you.
Chairman.
I think that the auditors have given their reasons. They are of the view that if the state had used the money on mortgage, that is their view. Now, the minister explained that it's difficult for the ministry to have this kind of arrangement. So that is what the challenge is, that they cannot have any property on mortgage. So the only option, if we should own it, is to build our own property. Acquire the place and then build it. And that is the reason why I asked the minister, what is the policy on accommodation? And the minister says that is to own. The policy is to own our own properties. So it's a matter of looking for money and then building it. Until that is done, they will continue renting. Because it will not be easy to have it on mortgage. So they've given their reasons. Yes.
Yeah, Chairman, thank you. Chairman, I still insist that we are given the specific number of missions that we've been able to own, given the table that the auditors cited. I think it is very important. The Chief Director mentioned Addis, something happening there. He mentioned Tokyo as well. So we need to know. He should be able to give us such information. Chairman, I used to be a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and I had the chance to visit some of these missions and to see the practical reality. But what I want to know is how far we have gone with, as the minister put it, he said phase 2 of the Société Générale. What have we been able to achieve with phase 1? Has it made any positive impact?
Yes, Honorable. Honorable, if I may, yes, it has made a significant difference. We've been able, with the amounts acquired, to build property. I was in one myself in Switzerland, in Geneva. We were able to build completely. We've been able to renovate property. We've been able, because some of the property really did not do justice to the image of Ghana. So there's been a lot that we've been able to do, but there's still a lot that remains undone, and we are trying to acquire.
So, Director, I want to see documentation.
Yes, please. We will submit it. We will submit it from here.
I was there. I saw some of them.
Yes.
So
yes.
Let's see vividly
what
we've been able to do to justify the appeal that the minister is making, that we should stand to you, with you shoulder to shoulder when you come seeking another facility. You must demonstrate to us that this is what you've been able to do with the first phase of it. So that is my request. What is happening in South Korea? You are down with that one. Good. So you see, let us know, so we can sympathize with you, because the expenses are outrageous by ordinary standards. So you have to justify why, you need the help that you are asking for. Mamponhini knows that I sympathize with him. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.
Chairman, even though, just a little bit curious. It's true that we want our staffs to stay in ambassadorial areas. I want some education. The ambassadorial area in Tokyo and Abu Dhabi, what is the difference? What is so much the reason for such a huge difference that in Tokyo, rental accommodation for 9 home-based staff is costing us $126,000, and in Abu Dhabi is costing us 861,000 euro. What is, you can't just explain this. That in Tokyo, 9 residential facility for 9 is this much, and this one is this much. Not even in dollars, it's in euro.
Honorable, thank you. Probably the best explanation that we can give is that I believe it depends on the economic conditions of the country. They are both very expensive countries, and much as we try to move the staff, find as accommodation which is as cheap as possible to build, this is the best that we can find. So I'm sorry. I think it's just the economic conditions of the country. It's difficult to find less than that.
In mine is just a comment to add. I just want to state that in Germany and other places, if we are hoping to attract foreign people into our country, we better make sure that our facilities are very nice and up to standard. That's my only comment. In as much as we're paying heavy amounts of money, I would plead with you. Sometimes looking at other facilities close by, and I state specifically the embassy building for Germany, particularly, when I see Mexico's, when I see Japan's, and then I look at ours, it makes it very uninviting to Ghana as a country. And I know we're not the same weight as these countries, but I really will plead with you that even as we are shooting for value for money, our edifices have to speak just as Jubilee House speaks. I rest my case. Thank you very much. And greetings to your Honorable Minister. She's a very good friend of mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Well noted, sir.
Chief Director, I want to find out the negotiation for the rent for the accommodation. How is the negotiation done? Is it done by the ministry here in Accra on behalf of the missions, or the missions individually do the negotiation?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mostly the properties are such that anyone posted from here takes over the property of the person leaving. So they are properties which we have rented over years. Now, the second part of the question is that when we are acquiring or looking for a new premises to rent, the missions are responsible for entering into negotiations with the landlords or any other person responsible. They send the draft documents and contracts to us. We have our legal department which analyzes it. And once it's okay with us, we send it to them and okay it.
So it means that the headquarters must okay whatever negotiations, agreement they have reached before they enter into the contracts.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Now, I asked you because when the question on the Abu Dhabi was asked, between Abu Dhabi and then Tokyo, we can say maybe in one area the rental charges might be lower as in the other area. But I look at Abu Dhabi and Dubai. They're almost in the same area. Okay? But the rent for chancery and residencies in Dubai for October 2018 to September 2019, that's 1 year, is 184,000 USD. What's that of the Abu Dhabi, which is a rental of accommodation for 9 home bays from February 2018 to September 2019, which is about 20 months, is 861,000 euro. So, in trying to compare, even though I don't know the number of staff that are occupying the residencies, I don't know whether that's for the ambassador or whatever, why is that much, this big gap between the two figures?
Mr. Chair, it's on the spur of the moment, I think it's a little bit difficult for me now to look at the peculiar differences between the two. But I would do so with my officers, and we can submit that response to you in due course, sir.
Definitely there must be a reason. So if
Yes,
we
please.
can have explanation to that, it will help us.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Let's move on to paragraph 659, Deputy Ranking.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Paragraph 659 has to do with some imprest that was not retired on time. And the audit report says that between November 2018 and 2019, the head of mission, His Excellency Tahir Damba, was given some 170.20 Saudi riyal, and that's about $26,784 dollars, but it did not retire it. I want to find out from you what what is the current status of this infraction? What have you done? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The ministry has communicated or has written to the former head of mission several times and requested that he refund the amounts via various letters. We have made copies of the letters that we have written to him available to the auditors. The recent one was as early as last year. And we are still pursuing him. We haven't heard from him. We are still pursuing, but we haven't heard a response from him yet, please.
All right. So I think that if you push to a certain extent, you may have to report to the appropriate agencies so that they pick it up. I mean, these are state monies, and we should find ways of retrieving them. Since last year, if it's not responded, but where is he now?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. He's in town. Mr. Chair, I will find him.
Please do. Please do, because...
So I know you've taken action on some earlier issues. Honourable Minister, I know you've taken action. Some action refers to some people to is it Yoko or whatever? And they are being investigated.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You can do the same thing here. What is delaying you?
Mr. Chair, that's why I said I will find him. Yes.
All right, so we'll leave it to you to pursue the recovery of the money.
All right, thank you. This paragraph 662 has to do with unexplained withdrawal from the bank, from a bank account. That's about 4,544 euros. And the review of the cash book and bank statements disclosed that one Mr. Martin Edu Ago, the former head of Chancery, and Mr. Marcel Domayel, Minister, on 18 December 2018, withdrew 4,554.35 euros from the mission's bank account and failed to account for the amount. Do you have any update on this?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The former deputy head of mission, Mr. Domayele, has refunded his portion of the amounts, being 2,272 euros. We have the evidence of the receipts, which we have forwarded to the auditors. As far as Mr. Martin Edu Ago is concerned, he has absconded, and we've pursued him. We haven't been able to lay hands on him, and we have forwarded the letter to the Attorney General's office to pursue the case, please. We have evidence of that too.
You mean somebody who works for a foreign mission would take this money and run away? 2,000 euros, 2,700 euros.
He's absconded, sir.
Wow. So please kindly take steps to report same to the police so that they investigate it.
Yes.
Because the auditors are recommending that we charge the chief director to recover this money. And, so please work on it.
Yes, please.
Work on it.
Yes, sir. So, typically, we pursue such cases through the Attorney General's office, and then they would pursue it with the police.
I know, but for the procedure, my uncle is able to pay this money easily.
Is a case? Have you reported a case to the Attorney General's office already?
Yes, we have reported it, and we have followed up with other letters to the Attorney General's office, reminding them.
Can you give us a copy?
Yes, please.
Of some of those letters.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please. Yes, please. We forwarded those letters to the auditors, please.
Okay. The next one is paragraph 664. It's on the Windhoek mission, double rent payment. Windhoek. I'm reading what I'm reading what I'm seeing here. I'm saying Windhoek. There's a double payment of rent, which is 54,101 Namibian dollars. Norwegian. Namibia. Yeah. It's Namibia. And then equivalent of 3,731 US dollars. Now, the auditors are saying that this amount, which was paid on behalf of the head of Chancery, Mr. Tony Kuteng, for failing to release the rented premises to the landlord on due dates. Now, the auditors have recommended to the Chief Director to immediately recover the amount from the head of Chancery, Mr. Anthony Kuten. Has the amount been recovered?
The amount has been fully recovered, Mr. Chair, and it was recovered from the officer's salary. We have evidence to that effect, and the evidence has been submitted to the auditors, please.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, the total amount has been recovered. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one is paragraph 667. Is payment for security services without approval. Now, auditors say that the mission had engaged the services of G4S to provide security services at the residence of the home base staff. Now, they however noted that the head of Chancery authorized the payment of 26,573 Namibian dollars to two other security companies to provide security at his residence without approval from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They recommended to the Chief Director to ensure that the head of chancery refunds the money to the state. The equivalent in dollars, US dollars, is 1,850.91. Has that also been recovered?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The amount was paid without initial approval from the ministry. We subsequently did our search on it as to the circumstances, and the ministry gave retrospective approval for the expenditure once it was able to assure itself that the expenditure was warranted.
Have we made this known to the auditors?
Yes, please. This has
Auditors, can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, the said amount, as he said, was not paid, but rather sought an approval, from the ministry. Thank you.
Okay. So become expenditure legally incurred. So we'll move on to paragraph 670. Honorable Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Paragraph 670 deals with an earned stipends to beneficiaries. And the auditors deducted that you made disbursements totaling $4,000 to 4 students who were not part of the list from the scholarship secretariat. And the recommendation was that the chief director should recover the unearned stipend of $4,000 from the head of chancery to chest. I would like to find out whether this money has been recovered.
Thank you. The Ghana mission in Rabat was instructed to submit evidence to the effect that the benefits to the students were withheld, thereby ensuring that the mission's recovery of the amounts. The letters have been sent to the Auditor General's representative, please. So that has been done.
The recommendation was for the recovery of the amount. And so let me find out from the Auditor General staff whether this money has been recovered.
Honorable Chair, the amount has been recovered from their terminal benefits. Thank you.
That will be all for me, Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go on to paragraph 673. Honorable Roxon.
Chairman, thank you very much. The infraction in question is in respect of some imprest that had not been accounted for. And I want to find out what is the status of this matter. Since this happened in 2020, we are in January 2023.
Mr. Chair, the mission has submitted the relevant supporting documents to properly retire the imprest by showing the actual expenditure receipts to acquit the payments. The documents have been forwarded to the External Audit Service, please.
Chief Director, you said properly. Now, the auditors established that contrary to instruction number 79 of the Foreign Service Accounting Instructions, as well as the Foreign Service Officers and Foreign Service Regulation 2019, Regulation 27.10, the retirement didn't happen within the statutory period. That's what they are saying. So that's a breach. So if you say that you did the retirement properly, I want to find out whether the auditors were wrong or the retirement occurred ipso facto the statutory period.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable. I think what I said was that they were requested to properly do it. That means that to do it according to the instructions of the Foreign Service. That is to caution them that there is a way of retiring imprest. but not that they did it properly. So I'm sorry if probably I miscommunicated on that.
Okay, I keep hammering this point. This incidence of public officers not accounting for imprest given to them is replete in Auditor General's report. Lots of agencies, including the famous Aegis Department, they are also cited. So we want to encourage public officers to stick to the law. Once you go and undertake a public service and you come back, tell us how much you expended and retire whatever is left. That's what the law says we should do. Don't keep the money. There are temptations when you have public money in your pocket. So thank you. Chairman, that will be all for... that's what I have on this matter.
So let's move to 676. Honorable Akosi Koneru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this has to do with our Cairo mission and indebtedness by the Ministry of Youth and Sports, resulting from a pre-finance agreement that was made between the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Cairo mission to pre-finance our activities at the African Cup of Nations in Cairo. Out of that, there was an amount of about $810,000 US that was billed to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. But however, upon further checks, the auditors found out that the amount was underestimated and it was supposed to have been $932,332 US. But however, $559,000 has been refunded by the ministry, leaving a balance of $332,380 US to be refunded by the Ministry of Youth and Sports to our Cairo mission. What is the status of that amount?
Thank you, Honorable. The ministry has written to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I have spoken to my counterpart, the Chief Director, several times, requesting a refund of the outstanding amounts, as you mentioned, 380, please. The mission sent a reminder to the Ministry of Youth and Sports via various letters. The mission submitted a detailed statement of accounts on the expenditure undertaken on behalf of the Ministry of Sports. I had personally telephone conversation with my counterpart, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Sports. The explanation that they provide is that there was his predecessor, Chief Director of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, passed on. So there was some miscommunication which was lost in between the process of one Chief Director to the other. So I have insisted that these are monies that are to be refunded. They were the expenditure undertaken on behalf of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the matter still remains with them. They haven't simply said that they wouldn't pay, but that they are still doing their checks to get all the papers in place so that they can be sure that the expenditure was properly undertaken.
Mr. Chief Director, am I to believe that as of now they don't agree to the balance of 332,000 as being outstanding?
My understanding from my counterpart is that they want to be sure that the amounts that have been stated by the auditors, all the amounts can be properly accounted for as far as their promise to pay up is concerned. So they are still doing their checks. That's the understanding I get, please.
Mr. Chief Director, this is from 2019. And on what basis did they pay the 552,000? Because initially there was an understatement by the mission in Cairo of about 200 and something thousand. So the initial amount was about 800,000, and they paid 500. So it was left with about 130 something thousand out of that one. Even that one is outstanding, and the understatement is outstanding for over 2 to 3 years now.
Honorable, as I understand it, it's difficult for me also to comprehend all the elements of the issue. But what I understand is that there was some loss of detailed accounting from one chief director who passed on not too long ago to when he took over. So he's still checking with the accounts section, and as I understand it, some people also from the accounts section also retired in between that time. So it's a matter which I'm still pursuing, putting pressure on them for them to come up with it, because it's an amount that is owed to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay, thank you. But I would urge that we pursue, because we need some to pay our rents for the chancery.
I'm doing my best, Honorable. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. The next one is paragraph 680. Honorable Kisi.
Thank you, Chairman. This has to do with ideal cash situated in an account, and we're looking at Canberra mission. May I ask how we manage such funds, and what's the current status? Has this been brought back to chest, or is it still sitting calmly, quietly, without trouble in the special collections account?
Thank you, Honorable. The mission has transferred the amount to the requisite accounts, and has also forwarded evidence of having transferred the funds. The evidence has been given to the Auditor General's representative, please.
Auditor General, Audit Service, sorry, can you verify, please?
Honorable Chair, the amount has duly transferred into the holding account. Thank you.
And in addition, what measures are being taken now to prevent, and if I may know, in the handover notes, do we state our financial status when we hand over? Because in this case, it was made known that apparently the predecessor did not state categorically why the monies were left.
Yes, please, Honorable. The normal procedure, as you rightly stated, is for officers handing over to state the accounts in the various accounts. There was a shortcoming in that regard with regard to this one, and we've taken corrective measures to strengthen internal controls within the missions. Sometimes there are some circumstances which affect the transfer of monies to the special collections account, but I will not go into that now, except to say that there's evidence now to show that this has been done, please. Thank you, sir.
Chairman, I yield the rest of the time.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable Minister, do we have ambassador in Australia now at Canberra?
Yes.
Who is the ambassador?
The ambassador is Dr. Ago. He is just retired. A new one is in the process of being appointed.
So, who is Dr. Joseph Ni Sai Kofi?
Is Dr. Ago, as I understand? If you are referring to Canberra, please, is Dr. Ago?
Talking about Australia. Australia, our embassy is in Canberra, right?
Yes, please. Yes.
Or do we have another one in Sydney?
No, we don't. It's Dr. Dr. Ni Okai Hammond. That's in Cairo. But then the one you're referring to.
No, I'm talking about Dr. Joseph Ni Sai Kofi.
Dr. Ni Joseph Ago. I think there's an error on the name. But it's Dr. Joseph Ago.
So you don't have any name in your records, Dr. Joseph Ni Sai Kofi? You don't have that?
Yes, it's Ago, please.
It's Ago?
Yes, please.
Has he been sacked by the president?
No, he has not, please.
He has not?
No. Then his name is Nisa. I think he has Kofi to his name. Yes, sorry, Kofi. He has Kofi in his name.
Nisa Kofi.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Surname is Ago, but should have appeared.
He has not been sacked.
He has not been sacked. No, sir, please.
So he's still at post.
He's retired.
He's retired.
Yes, please.
So is he still in Canberra or he's back?
He's come. He's retired. He's returned.
So I learned there is nobody in Canberra now. So the place is in a disarray.
We have an acting head of mission.
You have an acting head of
yes,
mission.
please. So typically the next senior officer becomes the acting head until a substantive head is appointed.
Okay. All right.
I'll leave it there.
That's right.
Let's move to paragraph 682. Honorable Kofi Adams.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, 682 is to do with our London mission, where the Dublin consulate generated revenue totaling £134,105 euros through their ECIMS system, but the honorary consul could account for only 90,500 euros, leaving a difference of 43,000. The recommendation is that the Chancery should recover this difference from the honorary consul, and further recommendation is for management to strengthen its oversight in the activities of this consulate. I want to know the status of these findings. 1, have you recovered the money? And 2, what other measures have been put in place to strengthen the oversight?
Thank you, Honorable. The Honorary Consul did transfer an initial amount of 79,415.08 euros. He was notified by the mission to transfer the balance of 36,257.92 euros. On 30th of July 2020, the Honorary Consul transferred 25,000 euros, and we have the evidence which has been submitted to the audit section department to prove that. Furthermore, to forestall this recurring, the mission is working towards implementation of a cashless payment system for consular services worldwide. We just finished a training of honorary consuls worldwide, where we brought all of them together and had training via Zoom with them over 3 days, where we, in our attempt to strengthen internal controls, the issue was made to them, the point was made to submit their the revenues every month as much as possible. Otherwise, they will face some consequences from the ministry.
Peters, can you confirm these retrievals?
Honorable Chair, the said balance has so far been transferred. Thank you.
Chairman, that should be all.
Thank you very much. So move to paragraph 684, Honorable Sam George.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, paragraph 684 deals with the Tel Aviv mission and the Holy Land of Israel. Unfortunately, some unholy things happened in the Holy Land. 28,618 US dollars 75 cents was spent without approval to celebrate Ghana's 62nd independence anniversary. Retrospectively, approval for $15,000, a ceiling of $15,000 was given, leaving an excess expenditure of $13,618 US dollars 75 US cents by the mission. The auditors are urging that the head of mission, Her Excellency Hannah Nyako, be made to refund the money. What is the situation with that unholy incident in the Holy Land?
Honorable, if I may, please ask the Director for Inspectorate to respond to that.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. The Ministry subsequently conveyed retrospective approval for the additional amount expended by the ambassador, especially because the ambassador was newly appointed, and so it's important for them to introduce themselves to the diplomatic community. So retrospective approval was given to the ambassador. Thank you very much.
So you are saying that first and foremost, the ambassador made expenditure without approval. The ministry subsequently gave retrospective approval with a ceiling of $15,000, and then gave a second retrospective approval again. So 2 retrospective approvals just to cover up this expenditure? Unholy expenditure?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The ambassador sought approval initially, but that approval was not received and responded to quickly as we would have.
Let me hold you there. That's not what the auditors are saying, except you're challenging the auditors. The auditors say that approval was given via a ministry circular number GM 38 of 11 February 2019 that actually excluded the Tel Aviv mission. So when original approval was given for the ceilings, Tel Aviv was not even given approval. Then subsequently approval was given of 15,000 retrospectively, and now you're telling us a new retrospective approval has been given to cover the amount. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Initially, she was not, the Tel Aviv mission was not included, but because she was newly appointed, it was needful for her to be introduced to the diplomatic community. And so that meant that the first approval was given. And what happened was that she was able to approach the diplomatic community or some companies and raise additional money because the amount that she initially was requested for was not enough for the celebration. And because she put that into government funds, it meant that it became government, became government resources. So she had to seek approval for that one as well.
Okay, so Chairman, if I hear well, the total 28,000 did not come from government of Ghana releases to the mission, and that the ambassador sought sponsorship from private individuals and paid same into chest.
Yes, Mr.
And then had to then seek approval for the disbursal of that chest.
Yes,
of
Mr.
that
Chair.
from chest.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
But let me ask, when was the ambassador appointed when was she sent to Tel Aviv?
I don't have that information readily available.
No, because you are telling us in your response, you said 3 times in your response to us on this matter that she was newly appointed.
Yes.
So if you're saying she was newly appointed, I would expect that you would have a date. That's how come you can tell us she was newly appointed.
I don't have that readily. Okay.
May I please? I believe the ambassador was appointed somewhere around 2018. I have to verify that. Now, what the director was trying to explain was that an initial circular goes out to cover the celebration of the Independence Day in March. The faxes may go out probably like in January. Now, when it goes out, it doesn't cover all missions. So some missions later on rise to indicate that they have special circumstances for which they should have been included in the fax message to cover all the missions. So then an argument is made, it is considered, and then the approval goes specifically to that mission and not to all missions. So it could be that what the auditors are looking at would be the general message fax going out to missions to celebrate and naming the missions, but then afterwards the specific missions which make a case for the celebration probably sometimes is not cited.
All right, Chairman, I'm just curious to find out if this celebration also culminated in the securing of the special stone for the foundation of the National Cathedral, because this all happened in 2019. I don't know, maybe. I'm just asking. Are you Chairman?
Honorable members, order. I don't know where the name cathedral is pinching some people.
If it is the pleasure of the Deputy Minister to respond on the cathedral, that's fine. But if not, the next issue we are dealing with from Tel Aviv, again, and like I said, the Holy Land, it is labeled unlawful purchase of gifts and donations. Maybe the auditors next time, once they are dealing with the Holy Land, instead of unlawful, could make it unholy. Unholy purchase of gifts and donations. But the Foreign Service regulations provide that contributions by head of missions must, when they're giving contributions towards parting gifts, are to be met from their, how do you pronounce that? Frais de representation.
Yes, please.
Well, I'm doing quite well for a Dangwe boy. But it appears that when it comes to gifts for host officials and organizations at the end of the year, they are not to be chargeable to public funds.
Yes, sir.
We see an expenditure in Israeli local currency, 2,380, equivalent of $700, being spent via a PV number 0127569 on 26 September 2019 for procurement of gifts to 14 individuals and companies during the Jewish New Year. Once again, they say that Her Excellency Hananyako should recover the money to the mission and must be advised to desist from such practice. What's the advice on this?
The officer, Honorable, has refunded the amounts, and there's the Treasury counterfeit receipt has been forwarded to the audit section, and she has been advised to resist from such practices. It was done while she was there, please.
So did I hear you say the office has refunded the money?
No, the officer.
The officer.
Yes,
so
please.
She personally.
She did.
Refunded the $700.
Yes, Honorable.
Can the auditors confirm this for us?
Honorable Chair, the officer refunded the money on 29th July 2021. Thank you.
And auditor, since I'm with you, can I just go back to ask you if you had cited the second retrospective approval for the outstanding $13,618?
Honorable Chair, yes, we've seen it, but that was done on 21st March 2022. Thank you.
So you're suggesting that the retrospective approval was 3 years late? 3 years after the fact. Is that what the auditors are saying?
Honorable, it does happen every now and then.
Chief, respectfully, the question was to the auditors. I wanted clarity from the auditors.
Sorry, sir.
Yes. Are the auditors telling this committee that the retrospective approval was 3 years after the date?
Honorable Chair, as I just said, as it was done on the March 2022.
But this was for expenditure in March 2019, so 3 years after. Anyway, Chairman, I would leave that to you to determine how we proceed on that. But the second retrospective approval was 3 years after the expenditure had been done. I don't know, but I rest on that and leave it to the decision of the Chairman. That's Tel Aviv. No, the very first one.
Chief Director.
Yes, Honorable.
Why did you give approval for an expenditure which was incurred 3 years earlier? Why?
Honorable, I do admit error on our part, but I can only say not so much that it was right that we did so, but that every now and then we go through the various missions, all the 66 and all the areas where we should be checking where we have any outstanding issues pertaining to the missions, and this may have come up at a time when that time elapsed, and we should have done it earlier. But it comes up that we're looking at Tel Aviv, we're looking at all the missions and all the issues relating to the missions, and the issue of the retrospective approval comes up. We examine it, we take it for approval from the minister, we advise, and then subsequently we take action. It may have taken a bit long. We are sorry for that, please.
So, what is the exact date that the approval was given for this particular 13,619?
May I have your kind permission to do a check on that?
Yeah, please check. Let me know the exact date that approval was given.
Yes, Honorable. Yes, Chair.
Will you check now and get back to me immediately?
I have 21st March 2022, please.
What the transaction took place in February 2019. We will not accept the second approval. We won't accept it. It is because of the audit report. That is why you quickly went and gave that approval. So it should be refunded. The money should be refunded. Whoever was in charge at that time, I think the name is Hannah. Her Excellency Hannah Nyako should refund the $13,619 US. Should be refunded.
Mr. Chair, if I may, please. I stated that this probably might not be a unique case because we go through the accounts, the various areas of the working of the mission, and sometimes there is delay in looking at all the 66 missions and on their various accounts and so on. So when the issues come up and we set up committees to look at them, sometimes it does happen that the committees submit reports late, and so the recommendation...
We cannot take that because taking that we are encouraging you to continue to give retrospective approvals. 3 good years after the audit report had been issued. This report was issued in June 30th, 2020. Then you quickly went and arranged for the approval to be given to cover up. No. No. You see, the embassies should be given approval before they spend. Just like the ministry is also given approval by Parliament through Appropriation Act for you to spend. They should also learn to do the same. You don't just go and spend anyhow, then you write to the ministry to give you approval. So, Her Excellency Hannah Nyako should refund the 13,619. Clerk, take note of that.
Mr. Chair, if I may, this is not to just make a case specifically for Her Excellency, but just to say that sometimes when these things come, the retrospective approval is given certainly upon recommendation of a committee. So it is not simply because it was an audit query that attracted that was issued before the approval was given. There's sometimes some delays that are done due to the work of the committee. So we tried our very best on that, please.
You cannot give approval, retrospective approval for the 15,000 and it take you 3 years to give the second one. Yes. How is the committee working? No, I'm saying that this report was issued in June 2020. And so for that matter, you cannot, no, in June 2021, because this is 2020 report, so it was issued in June 2021. Then in March 2022, you gave approval. No, we won't take that. Now the next one is paragraph 690. It's on Washington mission. Consular fees not accounted for by the Honorary Consul General, $354,760. This money has not been accounted for. It involved visa fees, that visa application fee, express or rush service, a lot of issues, totaling $843,900, but only $458,900 was accounted for. The difference is $354,760 remain unaccounted for by the Honorary Consul General. Now the recommendation is that the head of chancery should recover the difference from the Honorary Consul General, the failure of which the head of chancery should be made to pay. Has the money been recovered from the Honorary Consul General?
Mr. Chair, the money has not been recovered. The ministry has gone ahead to terminate the appointment of the Honorary Consul, and we've written to him to refund the total amounts. So to date, the mission is still pursuing him in that respect, please.
How are you pursuing him? What actions are we taking? What actions have you taken?
For now, it's through letters that we keep on. We've insisted that he should pay the amount, please.
Where is he now? Or her? Where is the person? Where is she now?
To the best of our knowledge, it's in the U.S., please.
What's the name?
What's the name? Jack Webb.
Come again.
Jack Webb.
Jack Webb.
Webb, yes, please.
Is he a Ghanaian?
He's American, sir.
An American?
Yes.
So we want to allow American to take our $354,760 and get away with it. Want to do that?
We are still pursuing the action, Mr. Chair.
You are pursuing only letters you are writing. No further action.
We've terminated his appointment, first of all.
No.
But we couldn't keep him on the appointment.
No, but the money, whether you terminate the appointment or not, the money must be recovered. That is the action I'm talking about. Not for termination, yes, but the money has not been recovered. So the action to recover the money, the only thing you have done is to write to him. Whether he responds or not, no further action. What do you think we should do in this regard?
Because it's in a foreign jurisdiction, we pursue it through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So our mission is interacting on this matter with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Washington, please.
In Washington?
Yes, please.
And
but legally, we cannot take direct action on this.
we cannot take legal action?
We have to pursue it, especially as far as honorary consuls are concerned, through the ministry, the respective ministries of foreign affairs.
Director, just for clarity, I think some documentation on your part in terms of your communication with the American, and in America, I think it's not Interior, it's Secretary of State, I believe.
Yes, please.
So your communication to the Secretary of State at that time, I think, was not Condoleezza. I don't know who it was now. But there should be that to cover your side administratively. If you have anything of that sort, we'll be very happy to see. If there's nothing, then really it begs the question if we are really after this much money or not. And this is dollars. This is not GH. This is dollars. And I'll plead with you to be clear with us. If there's nothing, let's know. And then just admit that we will now pursue. That would also be very helpful. Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Sir, what does a yes mean? He asked several questions. Have you written letters?
Yes, we have. We have evidence
copies?
of such letters, please. So I'm going to look for the other letters, and that's why I said yes. Just wanted to be.
What is the date on the latest one you have written?
The latest one is 16th November 2021, and the mission has also sought audience with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs over there to explain it and to ask for the assistance in pursuing this matter, as far as getting our monies back.
No, but we are not getting anything concrete here that when the mission contacted the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Washington, this is the outcome of that meeting. We are not getting anything from you. You said they are making contact. What is the outcome of that meeting that our mission had with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? We should have some information there. This is the outcome of that meeting for us to take a decision.
Mr. Chair, can I pursue that and get the response to you subsequently, please?
Are you interested in collecting this money?
We are interested, Mr. Chair. We are very interested because it's our policy that not one penny of that are due in consular fees should be lost in any way possible. We are very committed to that, sir.
You're employing an American to work in our mission to collect our visa fees, and he could not account for it. And we are not aggressive enough to collect the money.
Mr. Chair, it's not employed in our mission. It's an honorary consul. So most times they provide their own office and they serve as honorary consuls, providing the consular duties. In any case,
we have given the collection of the fees to him. What measure did we put in place in the first instance to ensure that whatever fee he collects, he accounts for it?
There are internal controls, Mr. Chair, and what they should be doing, and which is that they should be submitting their accounts to the supervising mission on a monthly basis.
What are you doing now to prevent this from recurring?
Mr. Chair, I would kindly wish to ask the Director for Audit Section to respond. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, just to provide a bit of clarity to this observation, the amount that he's supposed to account to us as a Ghana mission, he was charging something extra for extra services that he was offering, which is rush services. So in terms of the amount that he's supposed to pay to the ministry. He's accounted for that. So it's the extra one that he added that we are trying to recover, just to provide a bit of clarity.
That extra services he was providing, was he approved by the ministry for him to do that?
No, Mr. Chairman, no.
No, I think the reason why the auditors look at it is that he's using our mission or revenue source to make extra money. That is why it is in the first instance it's illegal for him to do that. Honorable Isaac.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, the infraction we are discussing here is just for about 1 year. So I want to know, for how long was he at post?
Honorable, for that specifically, we would need to look at the records to give you the accurate number of years for which he was at post. We'll provide it, sir.
Chairman, I asked that question because, for all you know, similar infractions might have occurred, in the years that we have not covered. It's possible. And I'm also wondering, what kind of receipt was he issuing? Was he issuing receipt to cover the regular application fees or the express stroke rush? Which receipt? Was it the 100, the 60, 100, or the 40? What kind of receipt was he issuing?
Mr. Chair, with your kind permission, it's difficult for me to confirm what specific receipts he was using. But as far as the regular payments were concerned, he was using the cash receipts books that were provided him, the TCRs that were provided him. But with regard to what the auditors found and identified, it's difficult for me to tell, please, because they were not from us.
If the auditors can be of help, which receipts? Is it our general counterfeit receipts?
Honorable Chair, he was using our GCRs to collect the money. Thank you.
So it's our money. It's actually it's our money. Once you use our GCR to collect it, if there's a percentage that he will get, you only calculate the percentage and give it to him. But, okay, so you are right by capturing it as an outstanding. Honorable members, first of all, we will encourage you to speed up with the process, but we will take a decision on that. But kindly update this committee within 2 weeks, the stage that you have reached in terms of the recovery of this money. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Honorable Apak, paragraph 692.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I wanted to have a bite of the previous issue. Perhaps the ministry needs to look at the criteria for selecting persons to serve as our honorary consul generals, because clearly this is very questionable. I mean, what is the point of being an honorary consul? Chairman, the issue here has to do with wasteful expenditure on rent, The amount involved is 6,000. I think it has to do with our Lusaka mission. Apparently one Mr. Okubi Apia, who was expected to have vacated the premises, refused to do so. And as a result of that, a security deposit of 3,000 had to be forfeited, and his stay past the time also resulted in an extra payment of $3,000. The auditors have recommended that you recover the monies from Mr. Okubi Apia. Have you recovered the money? Okubi Apia.
Mr. Chair, we have so far recovered $3,000 of that, and the officer has committed to pay the rest next month, and he's written to that effect. We've given a copy to the external auditors. Thank you.
So this is an infraction that occurred in 2019, and I take it that Mr. Apia is still with the service. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, he's now an ambassador. He's retired, but he's now an ambassador.
He's retired and he's an ambassador.
Yes.
And he cannot pay the money.
He's paying the chief
An
director.
ambassador, a retired foreign service officer who is now an ambassador, and he cannot pay. And if you read the content, he refused instructions when he was directed to vacate the said premises. He defied. We've even gone on to promote him to be an ambassador. What do you expect him to do now that he's an ambassador? If as a foreign service officer, he defied the chief director and did what he ought not to have done, and still owes, we have elevated him to ambassador. Are we serious?
Honorable
Chairman, I think that Mr. Ambassador, now Ambassador Okubi Apia, ought to be made to pay the $3,000. He really has no excuse. If you had said perhaps he had passed on or he is retired, he has had an elevation. Ambassador, $3,000. He ought to pay.
Honorable, if I may, sir. Please, the officer has paid the part of the amounts, and he has written that he will make good on the rest of the payments next month. The issue is that this officer was in a mission, and he's right now in another mission, and the matter that is being the subject of our discussions is when he was not an ambassador, he was a staff of a mission, and engaged in a matter on which he felt convinced before the audit was issued that he was right. He was subsequently convinced that it was a wrong thing that he did. He agreed to pay, and the matter, I think, is ended at this point.
Auditors, you don't get to decide that the matter is ended. We do. That's why it's in front of us.
Yes, please, I agree.
He has not paid. If he has paid, then you can say the matter is ended. Has he paid fully?
He has agreed to pay
the agreement
the
is
rest
in
of
money.
the amounts. Yes.
He has agreed. So that is sufficient.
No. What I'm saying, he has paid a part of it, and he's finishing the payment. So,
but is it not embarrassing? Is it not? You see that you are even embarrassed talking about this. This ought not to even be here for discussion.
Abak, let me intervene here. How much has he paid? How much has he paid? He said he has paid somewhere.
He's paid 3,000, please. 3,000.
paid?
Yes, please. $3,000.
And he's left with how much?
3,000, please.
Okay. And you have a copy of the written agreement or letter that I should pay?
Yes, please, I do.
Okay.
And
have you given it to the auditors? Have you?
We have submitted it to them, please.
Okay, Chairman, I think it's okay.
So they should collect the balance later and let the auditors know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
The next one is paragraph 696, Honorable Ajay Boateng.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The paragraph 696, this is Beijing mission, and the infraction is unapproved payment of medical bills amounting to 121,679, and it relates to the deputy head of the mission, who without approval spent that amount of money on incubator services. The auditors recommended that the total amount should be recovered from the deputy head of mission. So this is a straight case of recovery. So we want to find out whether you have recovered the money.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Staff at the mission are entitled to medical care for themselves and their dependents. And in this case, I think the baby was born premature, so had to be in an incubator. The magnitude of the medical bill was, which the auditors cited, that it was a drain on the mission's funds, and ministry should have been notified. Subsequently, we did, and we wrote to the Jubilee House, the seat of government, and it was retrospectively approved.
Mr. Chairman, they have an approval after the event. So the auditors have cited the approval.
Mr. Chairman, we cited the approval after the event. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, that will be all for me.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Say the seat of government has given retrospective approval. The seat of government has given retrospective approval. I think that the reason why they wrote to the seat of government is that the ministry is not sure on what to do. So they need approval from the office of the president. All right, so once that has been done, we will leave it there. Okay? So that is the last one for Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we are relieving you, we are discharging you on condition that those outstanding informations are provided to the committee.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Honorable Minister and your Chief Director and the rest. You are discharged.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and to all committee members also. Thank you very much.
Now let's have Ministry. Do we have Ministry of Tourism? Let's have Attorney General. Minister of Tourism. The minister is not here. Oh, the minister is here. Okay, let's take Ministry of Tourism. They have very few issues. So. The deputy.
I, swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Honorable Chair, my name is Mark Okregumante, Deputy Minister for Tourism, Art and Culture.
I am John Yao Agbeko, the Chief Director, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture.
Honorable Chair, my name is Kingsley Ofosuntiamwa, Executive Director for Ghana Museums and Monuments Board.
Honorable Chair, please, my name is Janet Danyami, Executive Director for the National Commission on Culture. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. So we'll go straight to Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, Cape Coast. Paragraph 551. Unsupported payments. You made payments totaling 31,000 Ghana cedis without supporting documents. The regional director explained that due to an emergency from the head office, Cape Coast Castle was required to send money to the head office to cater for the executive director's travel on a UNESCO program in Switzerland. But the auditors are recommending that the regional director should recover the amount from the head office, failure of which the director and the accountant should refund the money. Has the money been recovered from the head office?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The Executive Director will take this himself.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The money has been refunded to Cape Coast.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, the money was refunded on the 11th of January 2023. Thank you.
11th January 2023. Today is what? 20th? Less than a week. About 9 days ago. That's okay. That's the Power of Public Accounts Committee. Your next one is rent defaulters. That the auditors noted that 16 tenants occupying the premises of the Ghana Museum and Monuments Board owe rent amounting to 8,570 Ghana cedis as at March 2020. So they are recommending to the head of the board to recover the money from these tenants. Has the recovery been made?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The recovery has been made.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm only 4,850, leaving a balance of 3,720. Thank you.
Do you have evidence of the recovery, full recovery?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Then make it available to the auditors. Okay, while the auditors are looking at that, we can move to the next one. That will be taken by the ranking member. Paragraph 569. Paragraph 569 on page 134.
Yeah, here the infraction is that an amount of 387,176 cedis belonging to the Marine Drive project was misapplied for the celebration of Afrima, Kundun Festival, and other activities. The table below provides the details. Payment of additional expenditure for Honorable Minister's trip to the Volta region in June 2018, 73,000. Release of funds to support Kundun Festival, 1st to 9th September, 200,000. Release of funds to Palm Media Ghana Limited for the launch of the Afrima 2018 celebration, 100,000. The chief director should ensure a refund of this from the operational account into the Marine Drive project account, failing which the amount should be recovered from the chief director. So that is the recommendation of the auditors, that all this amount should be recovered from the chief director. Have you recovered those amounts?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Unfortunately, not yet, because we all know our situation. We've not had enough from our GOG side to the ministry, and so hopefully this year we'll be able to do that.
Excuse me, can you come again?
Okay, I'm saying that we were waiting for monies from our approved budget so that we could move some from that account into the Marine Drive account, but we don't have that yet, and so hopefully within the year we'll do that.
You are waiting for amounts. This amounts were misapplied in 2018, and we are in 2023. So why are you now hoping you will get some money?
Honorable Chair, I am sure you agree with us that we already are in a position with not too much when it comes to our ministry in terms of money. And so that's what I'm saying, that we are hoping that we'll get some relatively good budget so that we can move some into.
That is not acceptable. This audit, assuming you didn't even know, this audit was done in 2018, 2019. And you are aware of these recommendations. So what did you do in 2021 and 2022 in an attempt to obey the recommendation of the auditors? You can't just say you are hoping that this year you will do it.
Yes, I agree with you, Honorable Chair. Our 2022, we all know the challenges we had with our budget, and so we didn't get enough from GOG. And so it was difficult transferring some into the Marine Drive account.
Yeah, like I said, there's no evidence that you are seriously going to implement this recommendation. Because we have had many budgets since this infraction was brought to your attention. You have had many budgets. And I don't believe that in 2023 you are going to have enough, like you put it. I don't believe that. So if you have not made any effort to refund this money, as directed, you are just ignoring the auditors.
Let me find out. Have you made provision for the refund of this money in your 2023 budget?
No, we haven't.
So, if the minister says that they are waiting for money from the government before they do a refund, is the minister telling us the truth or what? Deputy Minister.
We can make an appeal to the Minister of Finance.
Honorable Chair, the Chief Director tells me that there are steps to engage the Finance Ministry to augment what we have so that we can make some provision for this.
The Finance Minister has no power to give you additional money if it's not approved by Parliament. Or maybe he can take it from the contingency vote, just like he took money from the contingency vote for the cathedral. Maybe that's what he wants to do.
We are yet to engage, and so we do not know.
What I'm saying, is it a fact or what? It's a fact. Because I was at the meeting when we were approving the Ministry of Tourism budget. The reasons why we rejected the 80 million for cathedral is, these are one of the reasons. So, you are saying that you take steps to get additional money and then do the refund into the Marine Drive account. What is the status of the Marine Drive account?
Honorable Chairman, as we speak, there is no money in that account for the Marine Drive.
Where is the money? Where did it go? The Marine Drive account money, where is it?
I'm afraid, Honorable, I wouldn't be able to.
So, what is the status of the Marine Drive project? Has something been done about it?
Honorable Chair, it's no longer with the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. It's with the Presidency.
But definitely, as a project that falls under ministry, you have knowledge about the status of the projects, whether work is ongoing, whether it's 99% complete or 2% complete. You should have an idea.
Honorable Chair, works under the Marine Drive project are progressing very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. And there isn't much progress report to be given now. Thank you.
They took the Marine Drive from you and brought you Cathedral.
Chief Director, were you at post when these misapplications took place?
No.
You were not at post?
No.
Okay. Now, honestly, I don't think we are seeing any serious effort to refund this money. So we don't know what to say. Because we are not getting the assurance that it will be done. What do you suggest we do?
You will help me engage with the finance minister.
You will engage with who?
The Minister for Finance.
He will give you a replacement for the money that you used to support Kundum Festival. Are you sure he will do that? Let's be serious. If you think that your Minister of Finance will give you money to replace the one that you took to go and do a festival, he will not. Chairman, anyway, let's plug it in and then
Chairman, the Chief Director is telling us that the account, there's no money in the account now, and that the project has been taken over by the presidency. I believe that's the more reason why they are not making any attempts to reimburse the account, because already they feel the project has been taken over by the presidency, and the account, there's nothing in it, so there's no need for them to reimburse the account. That's why they are not making any effort. Mr. Chief Director, will I be right if I will say that it is as a result of that you are not making any effort to reimburse the account?
That is not correct, Honorable.
That is not correct. So now, if you reimburse the money into that account, what are you going to use that money for, since the project has been taken over from you?
We pay into whatever account the new manager is operating, pay into that one.
Mr. Chairman, I will recall that during our last sitting, there was an issue with this same Marine Drive, and they were asked to go and do some work and report back. Mr. Deputy Minister, if you can recall.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
What has come out of that?
I think that some recommendations were made by Honorable Chair to do with engaging some of the stakeholders. So they come back and report to this August committee. I do not know, but that's what I remember.
Decisions were made. And now the revelation you are giving us is that the project has even been taken over from you by the presidency. So how are you going to implement the recommendations that we gave you here?
At the time that we came here, I was not privy to the information that had been given to the presidency. And at that time, this topic didn't come out this strong about the Marine Drive. So I'm not sure. It was about the monies and not how the project had been taken to the presidency.
Minister, we are going to take your words that you will source money and then refund the money to the Marine Drive project account today. But my concern is that since there is no money there, if you transfer the money to that account, do you still control that account as a ministry, or is now also gone to the presidency?
Honorable Chairman, the account in question is the project account of the ministry.
Okay.
It's not, it was just because the Marine Drive money was paid into it.
Okay.
It became a Marine Drive account, but it is the ministry's project account.
So if you take it from your operational account and send it to the project account, you still spend it as a ministry, right? So it doesn't make any effect. Colleagues, me, I call it robbing Peter to pay Peter. Not robbing Peter to pay Paul. No. You just move it from left, put it to right, and then spend. For me, it doesn't make any effects. So we can once the expenditure is legally incurred, only that it was picked for different run account, let's leave it there. And we'll write it off. All right, so let's move to the next one. Paragraph 573, Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Now, we are talking about unearned salary. On Mr. Avoka, you paid him 32.
Ranking, you have another one. Please finish that one before you come to Vice Chairman.
Here is failure to hand over official vehicle. 5 vehicles were in possession of 3 former officials who separated from the ministry through reassignment and termination, as detailed below. Honorable Catherine Afeku, Toyota Land Cruiser GV 353-14, Toyota Land Cruiser GS 2696-18, and the Toyota Hilux GX 2280-18. It was reassigned to the Senior Minister's Office on 30th of April 2019. Jenny Adade, Toyota Corolla, GN 4231-15. Termination of appointment on 3rd September 2018. Olivia Opoku Adoma, Toyota Land Cruiser, GT 4573X. Termination of appointment on 11th of September 2019. Recommend that the Chief Director should ensure the recovery of the vehicles from the above named individuals. We further recommend that the use of the vehicles by the individuals should attract rental charges at the current rental rate for the period during which the vehicles has been in their possession. Chief Director, what have you done about it?
Honorable Chairman, all the 5 vehicles have been retrieved.
Did you also charge them the rent recommended?
No.
Why?
For Honorable Catherine Afeku, as the report indicated, she was reassigned to the office of the senior minister. So she took the vehicles with her. Yes. And since she was still in government business, we found it a bit uncomforting to ask her to pay for the use of the vehicle.
Are you saying that he was reassigned to the office of the senior minister and he took away all your 3 vehicles?
That is actually the case.
Okay, continue. What about the others?
For Ms. Adade was engaged to manage hot cards. Having worked for, I think, a year and a half, a decision was taken to regularize her appointment. When the process was engaged, it was found out that she didn't have the right qualifications to work or to be engaged as a director for the institution. And as a result, she was reassigned to another desk in the ministry. She was not happy with it, and she left. So she left with the vehicle. Now, when we brought the issue of payment for the use of the vehicle, she also raised a counter issue that she has worked for us for about 1.5 years, and we have not paid her. So it became a little bit of a tussle between us and Ms. Adade. So as it is, we've not been able to take any money from her for the use of the vehicle.
It has been returned anyway. And what about the next one?
The Olivia Poku was the director policy for the ministry. The vehicle in question was involved in an accident. Because the ministry had no vehicle, a decision was taken that that vehicle, when repaired, should be allocated to her. She took it upon herself and repaired the vehicle, and was using it. When she was leaving, that is upon retirement, when she was leaving, she brought some requests for payment, that is the monies she used to put the vehicle back on road. The ministry was unable to pay her, and she took the vehicle away with. We didn't dash.
Oh no, don't engage.
We
Why are you doing that? Oh.
We
Why?
didn't dash the
Is
car.
that how we do the thing? Don't do that.
So
that's why when you raise your hands, we don't call you.
So when the audit issue came up, she brought the vehicle back, and we could not go further to charge her or ask her to pay for the use of it.
Thank you. I think
that you'll be able to justify the reasons why you did not go further to demand the rents. So they are well explained. So let's move on to now 573. Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Now, the unearned salaries for Mr. Paul Avoka, has he refunded the unearned salaries?
Honorable Chair, we do not seem to know anything about this.
Department of Community. I'm sorry? Auditors, could you help us out over here, please?
Let's go to 577. So the national culture is under community development. Minister of Tourism. Okay, so Department of Community Development is not under your ministry.
No.
All right. Then Deputy Ranking, paragraph 577.
Thank you very much, Chairman. This has to do with the Regional Center for National Culture in Koforidua. The auditors observed that during a physical inspection of the main theater hall, 2 big windows in the building and some portions of your ceiling had fallen off. But they also cited a letter from the regional consultant of AESL in Koforidua, which requested that the contractor, Mrs. Freydog Limited, move to site and rectify all structural defects, electrical defects, but to no avail. However, if you are to look at the report, it indicates that payments had already been done to the contractor when in Regulation 80 of the Public Financial Management Act, it says that the spending officer shall not certify the completion of works unless the contractor concerned has complied with all the provisions of the contract. First, I want to find out from you the status of this infraction.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Windows are fixed through IGF instead of engaging the contractor. And the reason is that we owe him, and so it was not in good taste getting him to come on board to come and continue with the work. So it's been fixed.
In doing so, do you want to tell this committee that the contract has been abrogated, in that if tomorrow the contractor goes to court, you will not be found because we already awarded a contract to someone, and you go ahead to use IGF to fix the defects instead of engaging the contractor?
We are still engaging the contractor because we've seen that there are gaps in the communication between the previous leadership and the contractor, and so we want to find a midpoint where there'll be a win-win. So at the moment, that is all we can say until we come back another time with a concrete finalization to that.
Please do and advise the auditors on that. Auditors, are you able to confirm if the windows are fixed?
Honorable Chair, we have to ask our district auditors to verify for us. Thank you.
Please do. Thank you. Just that, Chairman, the impression we get is that the ministry is not fully funded and all of that. But we also know that this Christmas, a lot of the activities, the Afrochella, the Afro Nation, all these major events, does that not generate internally generated funds for your ministry?
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Tourism is actually an intangible environment that you create to distribute wealth to various entrepreneurs in the country. And so Afro, like you mentioned, Afrochella, private entrepreneur, driven by private businessman or corporate Ghana. And so the ministry, through Ghana Tourism Authority, only creates an environment that will bring in visitors, activities that will make the local economies make some money. And so they only pay royalties or fees or dues to Ghana Tourism Authority, and that is all we get as a ministry. The distribution of the wealth you see during Christmas actually gets into the pockets of the private sector more than government. Thank you.
Well, thank you for this. Just that in some of the events that I attended this Christmas, I mean, you had GRA people stationed at the gates just to ensure that they also get their portion of it. Probably maybe you should consider that some levy, just like we pay when you visit hotels, the tourism levy that we pay when you visit hotels should apply to events, so that, I mean, you can generate, because you put in a lot in advertising these events on your website, on your social media, and all of that. And if your ministry or your agencies are not making anything out of it, I think it's unfortunate. So we should consider that on the ticketing, some portions of it. And all of this can be achieved, for instance, when you begin to sell tickets digitally. so that a portion of it will come to your agency. Consider that.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm happy he came from this room. Thank you.
So that'll be all for Ministry of Tourism. You are discharged.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Let's have Ministry of Justice.
I swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Honorable Deputy Minister, kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I am Alfred Tia Yeboah, Deputy Attorney General and Deputy Minister of Justice.
I'm Reynold Kwashe, Director General Administration, Ministry of Justice.
I am Jemima Wari, Registrar of Companies.
My name is Becky Baden, Registrar General's Department.
My name is Seth Appiah, the Chief Accountant, Registrar General Department.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll start with first one. Paragraph 590, which will be done by Honorable Adomako Kisi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Justice served. So this has to do with unsupported payments. And within the Court of Appeal, we're looking at about 519,000 Ghana cedis. I'm sure you have the...
No. I think that should be under the judiciary. We are not responsible for the judiciary when it comes to the Court of Appeal and the rest. Yes.
Oh, all the issues under judicial service. So the only one under you is the Registrar General?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, all right. So we'll take that one. And it's on paragraph 594. Supply of goods and services before award of contracts. Ministry of Justice, the legal advisor to government. Am I right?
You are right, Honorable Chair.
So if the laws that have been passed, for which you advise government, has been breached, what do we do?
We are part of the state, and we are under the laws of the Republic. So we must go by the laws.
Good. Supply of goods and services before award of contract. Does the law say that goods and services should be supplied before the contract is awarded?
No.
So does it amount to breach?
if such a thing was done, it amounts to a breach.
Yeah, that is what has been reported on. That they have awarded the contract after the supply, and no other alternative quotation were procured. Sole sourcing, and so straightforward. We are recommending that you prosecute them.
Honorable Chair, I cannot decline the invitation, but if I may yield the mic to the Research General, the officer in charge, so that we speak to it. Maybe after the explanation, something different may have to be taken, but we accept your invitation.
Well, we'll get an explanation, but that explanation is a good explanation that could be done in court anyway. But you can explain.
Honorable Chair, the recommendation given by the auditors is well noted, and the anomaly has since been corrected. And management, we've also put in place additional controls to ensure that this unfortunate situation is not repeated. Thank you.
Yeah, I've seen a recommendation that you should adhere strictly to the procurement law, which I've seen your response also that is what you do now. I hope that is what you do now. Okay? I hope.
Yes, sir.
But for this one, I'm referring it to court.
That's it.
I'm referring to court.
Honorable
On
Chair.
Tuesday, I referred about 26 BMCs under the Ministry of Health to court. They will come to you for prosecution. So, clerk, add Registrar General Department to the list. That will be all for you, your discharge.
We are grateful.
Let's have Ministry of Works and Housing.
I swear by the Almighty God that the evidence I shall give before this committee touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Minister. Kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
My name is Abanga Abdullahi, Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, MP for Binduri.
I'm Reverend Stephen Yause, Acting Chief Director of the Ministry of Works and Housing.
My name is Ebenezer Sam, Director of Human Resource, Ministry of Works and Housing.
I am Fofo Venunye Emmanuel Kwame, Head of the Internal Audit Unit of the Ministry.
Thank you very much. You have, I think, 2 or 3 issues. The first one related to paragraph 582. Honorable Bauer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Reverend, you're welcome. And congratulations for your elevation.
Thank you very much, sir.
But you have an issue with acting, yes. With your land titles. You acquired parcels of lands, paid monies, period between 2015 to 2018, but you don't have documentations to those lands. Meanwhile, you have made several payments to the tune of about 8,349,000 Ghana cedis on these lands. So the auditors are saying that checks at your ministry indicate that you don't even have title to these lands. And so the recommendation was that you should take immediate steps to register all these lands and have them properly documented, and also maintain a register of lands and buildings that the ministry acquired. So can you bring us up to speed as to what you have done about this recommendation of the Auditor General?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Yes, indeed, the audit report stated that we had 5 parcels of land that did not have titles and documentation. But we, on the 1st of December 2022, previously we engaged the families that made those lands available to the ministry. And we had documentation on 3. That is Gomo, Jobi, Sege, and Asuchware. We presented those documents to the Lands Commission, and as per their letter on the 17th of January 2023, they received our letters and application to regularize the lands and give title, and we made those documents available to the auditors. Efforts are also being made to get documentation on the 2. The families have been contacted, and we are in the process of securing the documentation for the 2. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your efforts, but these lands were procured, some as far back as 2007. I'm talking about this Fiankonya parcel of land, about 276 acres. And then also the Pram and the Suchari one. So, Reverend, you agree with me that these days, land in Accra, even those that you have title to, people are struggling with you on it. And for that matter, you need to expedite action, even though you've done something. I believe that if had it not been because you are coming before PAC, because the one we are taking, the Lands Commission just gave you, just in this January 2023, that they received your request for title for those lands. So you need to expedite action to ensure that at least these lands are properly documented and in the name of the ministry. I will leave the rest to chairman and the leadership to also make some pronouncements. Chairman.
All right, so let's move to the next one. Is paragraph 586. 586, that is Public Works Department. On earned salary. 25,781.35, which was paid to one Mr. Peter Norte. The recommendation is that the regional director should recover the money from the individual, the failure of which the director will be held liable, together with the validators. Has the recovery been made?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I want to put on record that since 2014, PWD was decentralized. It's only the headquarters that the ministry is responsible for. So the regional office, reports to the RCC and the Ministry of Local Government, not longer with the Ministry of Works and Housing. So the auditors have to redirect the question to the RCC and the Ministry of Local Government.
So it should come under Ministry of Local Government, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow. I think we need some kind of training. John, you need some training for your staff nationwide so that they know how to place the various departments. Because we keep changing this in realigning all the time, so we must also be abreast with those realignment so that we know where to place it appropriately. Yeah. Now, Ministry of Local Government will be coming, but I'm not sure if this has been communicated to them. But in any case, we'll put it there. When they come, we'll ask them. On that note, you have only one issue, so we will have to discharge you. So, Minister of Works and Housing, you are discharged.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now let's have a Council of States.
Scripture in your right hand. Ready? I,
Augustine N. Angleoha,
swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much.
Kindly introduce yourself. Use the mic.
My name is Augustine N. Angleoha. I'm the head of accounts at the Council of State. I came with the executive officer, but he got a call and said he was just moving out and come back. Unfortunately, we've just been called.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right. So, Honorable Adumako Kisi.
Thank you, Chairman. This has to do with failure to withhold taxes for the state. The amount involves 6,833 Ghana cedis. Have we returned that money?
Thank you, sir. Honorable Chair. We have done that. We have recovered the money and paid it to Chest and then provided the information to the auditor. Thank you, Honorable.
Audit Service, can you confirm, please?
Honorable Chair, the 6,833.5 was paid yesterday. Thank you.
I won't comment further. The next one,
yes,
unrecovered loans, 50,000 Ghana cedis. And what's the update on that? Paid yesterday or when?
Thank you, Honorable. That one has been, it was being paid monthly. Ever since we noticed that they are taking the loan, we contacted them and they started paying monthly. So we have made a schedule indicating the payments up to date. Currently, it's only one officer who is still making the deductions. They are paid through our bank, the Bank of Ghana, into our account monthly. So they've all paid except one officer. Then two other officers are really not made any payment, which have made in a schedule attached. Thank you, sir. Honorable.
We need clarification. Audit Service, can you be clear to us in terms of how much has been paid out of the outstanding? It's very important, please.
Honorable Chair, out of the 50,718 Ghana cedis, 0.05, 30,267.05 has been settled, leaving a balance of 20,451. Thank you.
I'm assuming this is as of last year. So currently, do you have the numbers, Mr. Accountant?
Come again, Honorable Sir.
Okay. This is what went into the report 12 months sort of ago. So what is the current state of affairs?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The current statute is that we still have an outstanding balance of 20,451 unpaid. We are pursuing the officers, two of them. In effect, they've really been transferred after the council, and then they are staff of controller. We have written to them, copying controller to assist us, and controller has contacted them, and we made the discussions with them, and they assured us that they will assist us to recover the money. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Well, from 22,000 to 20,000 is not impressive, but we'll leave it there. I think if there's documentation in terms of your correspondence with controller and accountant, you should. It was 50,000. It came down to 20,000 as of when this report was made, but it's been. Oh, okay. But what I'm saying is this was concluded last year. Or am I mistaken?
No, the report, the amount that is yet to be recovered is 50,718 at the time of the report. But as of today, the balance left is 20,000. It means that they have recovered 30,000. Is that the case?
No.
All right. So do we have the letter, the correspondence?
Honorable Chair, yes, sir. Okay. We have provided it to the auditors to as evidence.
So Audit Service, can we verify and then move on?
I mean, we have confirmed. Thank you.
Okay, Chairman, that should be everything for them.
Can you give us some dates or time frame by which you can finish, you can ensure that the two officers will start and then complete the refund?
Honorable Chair, the controller and accountant staff has really assured us that they will make direct deductions. So when we get back, I will get back the report to him and then solicit their assistance so that they will make the direct deductions from their salaries, so that at least within a year they can finish paying.
How much are both owing?
Honorable Chair, the two of them are owing 20,451 Ghana cedis.
Is that equally or?
Honorable Chair, the first one is Jacob Ansah. He owes 10,200 Ghana cedis. And the other officer is Michael Tete Thompson. He owes 9,792 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All right. Since they are still in the service, the deduction should be made from their salary on monthly basis. Okay. That will be all for Council of States. You are discharged.
Thank you very much, sir. Honorable Chair.
Now let's have, do we have Minister of Information here? Do we have a Minister of Employment and Labor Relations? Let's have Ministry of Special Initiative, Special Development Initiative. That's Northern Development Authority. Northern Development Authority.
I,
Emmanuel Aduma Bosman,
swear by the Almighty God,
swear by the Almighty God,
that the evidence I shall give before this committee,
that the evidence I shall give before this committee,
touching the matter in issue, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much.
Kindly introduce yourselves to the committee.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairman. My name is Emmanuel Aduma Bosman, Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of operations.
Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Napagatia Sulemana, Coordinator for Special Development Initiative.
My name is Henry Wood, Chief Director, Jubilee House.
Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Smaila Abdurrahman, Acting Chief Executive of the Northern Development Authority.
Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Patrick Sedu, Deputy CEO in charge of Finance and Administration.
Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Stephen Yiri Aro-Engwen, Deputy Chief Executive Officer in charge of programs.
Good afternoon. My name is Baba Adams. I am Deputy Director of Finance.
Okay, you're welcome. So you have some issues reported in the reports. And we'll start with paragraph 698. Honorable Kofi Adams.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Northern Development Authority, unrecovered amount from the sale of tricycles. The auditors, in the review of your 2019 minutes of the board's meeting held on 1st August 2019, saw a proposal by management to proceed with sale of tricycles on cash and carry basis and in a transparent and non-partisan manner. However, when they reviewed the sale of motorcycles of the Northern Development Authority, 2,037 tricycles valued at 7,121,000 were sold on credit, contrary to the board's directives. The authority was able to recover only 4,745,000, leaving a difference of 2,375,900 Ghana cedis. The auditors recommend that the Chief Executive Officer should recover the debt of 2,375,900 from the beneficiaries. Have you done so?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. I must say that we have made some recoveries, but we have not recovered the entire 2,375,000 yet. The total recovery we have made is 185,000 Ghana cedis, with an outstanding balance of 2,190,000. We have, however, had conversations with those who owe, and then they are willing to pay and have presented a payment plan. The board that was just inaugurated also has some conversations with them. Even as we sit here, there's a planned meeting of the board's committee on audit and finance to meet them on the 24th of January to have further discussions on this. The other thing we are considering is, which we've already initiated the process, is to engage a debt collection company to go after these debtors to redeem the outstanding debt.
Thank you. And 185,000 out of 2.375 million from 2020 till now, do you think you have done enough, considering the objective for which the Northern Development Authority was set up for? Do you think you have done enough?
If you look at the quantum of money outstanding, on the face value, Honorable, you are right to say that we haven't made significant progress in terms of the recovery. But I think we've had a lot of engagements. We set up a debt recovery committee. We have written to them We've visited them in their homes. So we've put in a lot of efforts to be able to recover this money. And I just want to assure the honorable members of this House that we'll be able to make significant progress in the recovery of the outstanding money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don't you think that the board's decision and the management indication to the board that it should be on cash and carry basis, that you varied, is the reason for this? If you were varying the cash and carry basis, don't you think you needed to have put systems in place to make sure that you get the money back?
Honorable member, you are right. But what I want to indicate is that the varying of the approach was not deliberate. It was due to some logistical challenges on the ground. Otherwise, the officers were assigned to go there, sell on cash basis. And these people were there for several weeks, months, and the process was generally very slow. And then these items were also being exposed to certain risk. So a certain arrangement was put in place for people to make that payments and then come and take delivery. Thank you.
I don't expect that you would go to the area. I don't know the kind of risk tricycles were being exposed to that they could not be. Dust. We have kept ambulances and then the rest there for a very long time. Are we not aware of that? I wasn't so impressed about the retrieval. So, but you said on the face of it, it may look, but internally, maybe something more has been done. So I want us to do item by item. You said distribution, Savannah, 175. They have done quite well in terms of payment so far. The outstanding is just 16,800. Donald Ansah, has she also paid something since these findings?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, Donald was assigned to Savannah region as a staff to go and deploy these things. So his name is there because he was in charge. But again, because of the weather, those tricycles in Savannah were finally sold off.
Well, it's recorded here as sold, but it's the payment that I'm talking about. I'm asking whether he has paid something from the outstanding amount.
Yeah, it's been recovered.
Recovered it fully?
We've recovered.
Okay, so that's good. So Savannah, good. What about Northeast region?
Savannah, we have an outstanding of 32, Northeast outstanding of 32,000. But we've made contacts, we've written, and then they are willing to redeem the outstanding amount. Yeah, we recovered 42,000 from them, so that's the outstanding.
That's also good. Then what about Upper East region? Baba Adam.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, as usual, Baba Adams was assigned to that place, and we've also recovered 10,000 from the balance there.
I think you can do better there also. Then Upper West region.
Upper West, so far, we've recovered 32,000 cedis from the region.
What has happened to the rest? Because the amount there is huge.
For Upper West, some of the tricycle got bent. Where it was housed, I think there was a fire, and then later we had to discount the prices and then sold them at a reduced cost. So what we have at the Auditor General report is not actually the price on grounds. So from here, we'll be sitting down with the auditors to reconcile the figures and have the same.
So there was a report on this fire to the police. There's an investigation.
Ghana Fire Service came down, prepared official report on it, and then we have those reports.
And then Save Links Company Limited.
SafeLink, we received 200,000 somewhere in December 2020 after the audit report. So the balance, even though it was reported to auditors, but we still have 1,515,000 on the books. Several demand letters have been written to them as well. And then they also made their legal officer to write to us. So at the moment, we are trying to meet with the legal officer to see how we can reconcile the case and then accept their repayment plans.
What is the legal officer saying, or the company saying? We need to be interested in it. You can't just...
If I can get the letter.
But first, are you suggesting that they've given you 200,000 in addition to the 200,000 payments as captured in the report?
It's the same 200,000.
It's the same. It's only that 200,000. No, listen, if we don't see it, it's better.
If we don't see it.
Don't read it.
Honorable Chair, basically they were challenging the amount that they were owing. And so they were requesting, because it was sold to them.
You say they, who are they?
The SafeLink.
The SafeLink?
Yes.
Is it a company or individuals?
It's a company.
So the company bought all these 464 motor tricycles, and they are challenging the amount.
Yes, Honorable Chairman. So we are sitting down with them to settle this thing out of the legal framework.
But have they sold the machines, the tricycles?
They have sold them. I can't guarantee how many they have, but I know they have sold some.
But what is the objective of this, providing these tricycles? What is the objective?
Honorable Chair, the main purpose for providing the tricycles was to meet farmers' demand in the rural part of the NDA operational zone. We realized that farmers do a lot, but one of the biggest challenges to peasant farmers was how to convey produce, farm products from rural areas to commercial centers for sale. So these were brought in along with other equipment such as tractors to enable to sell on credit basis to enable poor farmers bring farm produce to the urban centers for sale, and that was the main. Right? It was just to improve.
And the authority sold 464 to a private company, SafeLink.
Yes, this was a company. Even the initial arrangement that was put in place for distributing these tricycles when there were first pitches around 2015 was to bring in a private person to distribute them as a business and not as a government handout to farmers. And it was the intention to minimize political interference so that we will avoid where we have found ourselves today. So we brought in a private person. And there were one of those which were registered to also come and buy some of these tricycles for distribution to their members. And it's like a farmer-based organization, an FBO, that was brought on board. And after they came and took it and went and sold, then we're having challenges with recovery.
Can you assure the committee that the safe link, that 464 tricycles were sold to, actually sold them to the farmers that are supposed to benefit?
Yes. One interesting thing, Mr. Chairman, is that when you go to the rural part of the NDA operational zone, you find these tricycles in those areas, a clear indication that they were actually sold out to this. But that's the best evidence we can give. You realize that in the urban centers, you don't see them much, but in the rural areas, firewood, charcoal, maize, and what are carried from the rural areas to the
Do you have the quantities that you find in the rural areas to be sure that all the entire consignment have been sold to the farmers? Do you have that record?
We don't have the data, Mr. Chairman.
So you can be sure that the company that bought has sold them to the people who are supposed to benefit. You can't give us that assurance here.
Thank you very much, Chairman, for such a detailed and wonderful. Well, now getting to the meat of it, you have the board chair and the board members themselves, those who sat and took the decision that we shouldn't do the cash and carry, themselves also took some. Have they paid their money? The name I see there is Honorable Asobaire. Is it the Asobaire that we know?
Yes.
Or a different one?
Yes, Honorable Chairman, but they have paid. Yes, it's clear.
They are fully paid?
Fully. Yes, fully paid.
So then the CEO and the deputy CEOs, are you the ones?
Yes, I'm one.
You are one of them?
Yes.
And the acting, are you also
No.
one? You were not there? No, I was not there. So now tell us.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just like my colleague stated here, we were not able to give proper explanation to auditors when they were around. This is not what I bought personally. It's just what they asked me to supervise. I was out to supervise the distribution. And when we went and I was supervising the distribution, we had some detail, including the one he just talked about, the burning that took place in Wa, which created a lot of problem with us, with the Ghana Fire Service and the police coming in to support. It is not like I personally bought it, no. It is just that my name, because we were not able to finalize it with the auditors, the account department or the auditor decided to put in the name of the person who supervises it, so that it would be an opportunity for me to push further and identify the people who bought these things on credit so that they'll come and pay, which we have done. And the names are provided and given to the finance team so that they can follow up for these people to come and pay. It was not like I bought them personally. Thank you, sir.
But the entire process
yes, sir,
is supposed to be under the chief executive and the deputy chief executive.
Yes, please.
So you are responsible for everything, including what went to all the other areas. So why will they identify these ones directly under your names and not even the other ones? Because there should be somebody at your office there that was directly responsible, just like the other regions. I don't think that you were the one doing that yourself. If your explanation is to be taken, why is that officer's name not being captured here?
In the other regions, I've also seen that some of my colleagues' names were captured. Honorable Chair, I think my colleague, you are with finance, you can explain. It was not that I bought it. I didn't buy any tricycles myself. I was just to supervise distribution.
So are you suggesting that so then it means that it got to the point where you even got your board chairman to help you in the distribution, which for me shows the commitment of your board members and your staff, because clearly you could see that maybe you had inadequate staff, so you got the board chairman and even the CEOs to help you out with...
Deputy Ranking, you are out of order. You are completely out of order. If the entire consignment, which is 2,037 tricycles, 370 went to the CEO and the deputies. And you explained that you didn't buy, or the three of you did not buy the entire 370, but rather those were the quantities that you supervise in terms of who bought the quantity and then so that they can pay. And then 221 tricycles were captured against the board chair and the board members. Does it mean that the board chair and the board members were also in charge of ensuring the distribution and making sure that they pay? Is that what you mean? If that is all what you mean, then why is the 221 captured against the board chair and the board members?
Mr. Chairman, these tricycles were pre-existed the coming in of the board that supervises, and they just wanted us to avoid what happened previously. So they took keen interest. But apart from that, when we made the decision that these tricycles should not be allowed in the baking sun to deteriorate to another level, and there was a need for us to bring in outsiders to come and do valuation and then disposal. Other people knew of it, and they were making special requests through the board and through the management. I would just say that they came in just because they were keen in making sure that we avoid the mistakes of the past. But I don't actually know how their names captured it. But I can tell you that the board was very much keen in ensuring that these tricycles were paid for and not the past be repeated.
Well, I don't know whether you got the question the chairman was asking clearly. You said you as a deputy CEO, it wasn't like you benefited from the quantity stated against your name. It's just because you supervised. Is it also the case that the board chair and the board members were also supervising the sales of those quantities, or it went to them? That's the question that they are asking.
Mr. Chairman, no.
If no, yeah, in their case, so who gave them the numbers?
Okay. So, like, as a board member, somebody will apply through you, or you have an option to bring 2 people to buy a tricycle or 5. So that is how that was captured. In actual sense, Antarita Sobayire's name is there, but she actually didn't, yeah. No. She didn't take part, actually.
Why would you put her name there?
It's because when they were doing the audit, who bought this, then they say, okay, this board member or this board members introduced such a person. So they needed to capture a name of that particular details. And that's how come they captured that one. She never took some.
So probably they served as guarantees.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Honorable.
My only worry is that, especially where the CEO and deputy CEOs were involved, and if you look at the level of retrieval, it's just too low compared to what the board members did, compared to what went against the board members. The CEO and the deputy CEO, you haven't done well. You who are supposed to be running the Northern Development Authority and directly to see to its objectives being achieved, you haven't done well. You haven't done well. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, I will leave the issues on this one here. The Share Nat company, they haven't paid anything at all. National Security, they have paid fully, as captured here. Chairman, that will be all on this issue. I want to move to the next one.
Now, yes, Honorable Apak.
Chairman, just for the sake of the records, can you let us know the unit cost? Unit cost, as far as the tricycles are concerned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The tricycles came under 3 different conditions. There were some that were assembled and packed outside the warehouse. Since 2015, those tricycles were sold for 1,800 Ghana cedis. And also, there was another category of tricycle assembled but packed inside the warehouse. Since 2015, those one also went for 3,200 Ghana cedis. And then the last category of tricycles were those which were still on the knockdown box. It wasn't assembled, unassembled. So those one went for 4,200 Ghana cedis. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
So these beneficiaries are, most of them are these our party foot soldiers, right?
They don't know.
They know. They supervise the distribution. They should know the people who are benefited.
Mr. Chairman, it cuts across everybody.
I didn't mention any party name. I said party soldiers. I didn't mention any party name. Did I mention party name? No.
Chairman, there were Ghanaian farmers.
Our party's food soldiers.
No, please.
Look, I have more information than you. I have more information than you. Why I sit, a lot of information comes to me.
Chairman, we love you.
You see, when we politicize certain things, this is the challenge we face. Now they are refusing to pay. If you look at the outstanding amount, the biggest is 1.5. The safe link, those ones were sold to party food soldiers. They are not paying. They refuse. If you look at the rest, they have made significant what? Payments, leaving some balances. So, the one that they are challenging. So, acting CEO, what assurance can you give us that you'll be able to recover this money from the beneficiaries?
Yes, Honorable Chairman, I can assure you that the system we are putting in place would help us to recover the money. As I said earlier, we want to engage a debt collection company to take up this responsibility independent of the authority. We think that that will help to do the recovery for us.
We thank you. We'll encourage you to implement the new measures to recover the money. So let's go to the next one.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Payment of unearned salary, 6,828 Ghana cedi. One Mr. Dude Namikut Nelson, who had resigned on the 30th June 2018, got paid salary for July 2018 for 7,128 cedi 41 pesos. When confronted, he refunded only 300 Ghana cedi leaving a difference of 6,828.41 pesos. The directives or the recommendation was that the authority should recover this unearned salary from this gentleman, or when he fails, then Dr. Abdel Majid Harun and Dr. Baba Tia Niba, who approved the payment of the salary, would have to be surcharged. What has happened to this unearned salary?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. We have made an additional recovery of 900 Ghana cedis, bringing the total recovery to 1,200, with an outstanding balance of 5,928. Dude is currently on retirement and indisposed, but we've had conversation with the family and they have shown some commitment. Even last night they called me that they will be putting a payment plan in place to ensure that this person, we are able to recover. The other strategy we have told them is that if they don't go by the plan, we are going to refer this matter to the police for further action on the recovery.
Well, do you know that this is 2020 audit report? You know about that?
Yes, Honorable Chairman.
Implementation should have been for 2021. And we are in 2023.
Yes, Honorable Chairman.
So that we should be dealing with the second component of the recommendation, where it means that you have failed to recover the money, and therefore the names mentioned there should be paying for that money, especially considering how you have handled the recovery of the tricycles. You think we should let this one also go for you to be following after this man forever?
No. Last night I had a conversation with Dr. Harun on this subject matter. And we have told him the implications of this. And so that matter is on the table. Even as I was sitting here, he was calling me, and I'm not picking up his call. So that is the next option we'll be looking at, including referring the matter to the police. And referring the matter to the police will include accosting these guys who are supposed to pay in default.
Well, I think talk to them for them to pay, even before you move further to the police to waste. Maybe his call was to tell you that he's ready to pay and was going to pay. So you didn't pick his call. So I think that this committee will be interested in pursuing that option immediately.
Well noted.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for the opportunity. That should be all on these two issues. Thank you.
So, Honorable, let's go to paragraph 704, unrecovered investment. Now, according to the auditors, management invested 5 million Ghana cedis with Man Capital Microfinance in 2015 without approval from the Minister of Finance. The investment grew up to 7.1 million as of 2018 because they've been doing periodic rollovers. But the said amount had remained unrecovered as a result of liquidity challenges of the microfinance company. The recommendation is that the authority should pursue the recovery of the amount from the company. Has that been done?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Yes, that has been done. We have recovered 5,122,000 22,957 cedis so far out of the 7,265,000. So the total outstanding is 2,135,097 cedis. And the receiver, which is AM Fund, has promised to redeem the outstanding balance by June. So that one, we are on course with that.
Auditors, can you confirm the recovery of 5 point something?
Honorable Chair, 2,645,374.35 has been confirmed, leaving a balance of 4,478,593.65. So the extra 3 million, we don't have it. Thank you.
Acting CEO, can you provide evidence of the additional
Yes,
recovery?
we have the evidence here. At the time of the audit, unfortunately, we did not lay hands on this. But in 2017, the receiver made a payment of 2.4 million cedis. Yeah. So the evidence is here, and then everything is here. So
auditors should have that.
Yes.
And verify. Yeah. And give us their reports.
Now, I'm interested in, or the committee is interested in knowing how much the receiver acknowledged as being the indebtedness of the finance company in respect of your authority regarding this matter. How much you invested and in interest accrued to you is different from how much the receiver will acknowledge as part of the receivership of the entity because of the liquidation process. So I want to know how much they acknowledge and how much they are committed to paying.
You want to answer?
Yeah, they are paying both. Mr. Chairman, they are paying both.
They've acknowledged the principal plus interest.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And are committed to paying.
Yes, Mr.
And so the receiver has made an initial commitment of this amount.
Yes.
So let the record reflect that.
Thank you.
Now, there's double claim of salary from two government institutions, 83,000. According to the auditors, one Mr. David Jesening Sumbo, who is a staff, draws salary from two government institutions, Northern Development Authority and the University for Development Studies. He received a total net salary of 89,855 from January 2018 to April 2019. And Northern Development Authority, and from Northern Development Authority, refunded 6,000, leaving a balance of 83,855. The recommendation is to recover this money from David. Has the recovery been made?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we have made some recovery. So far, we have recovered 31,000 Ghana cedis. And we have a payment plan with Mr. Sombo. So he issues post-dated checks. And every month, we go to clear the checks. So the last check was cleared in December. And this January, he has issued 6 checks to January. So we'll be clearing those checks. So we have a payment plan with him to clear them.
Can auditors confirm that they have recovered 31,000?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm 15,000 recovery, leaving a balance of 8,856,000 Ghana cedis. Thank you.
If you have evidence of additional recovery, kindly show it to the auditors. Now, is Mr. Sumbo still with the Northern Development Authority?
No, it's with UDS.
All right. So, on monthly basis, how much is he paying?
He started with 3,000, then later 2,000, and the latest checks he has issued is 1,500 per month. So,
isn't his salary going up? So, if your salary is going up, what would your commitment to NDA be reducing?
No, the increase in salary in percentage terms has been eroded by the inflation. But inflation is 54, and then that is down. Who told you?
According to Professor Ansah, it's 54.
No, I'm looking at the Ghana Statistical Service. They are officially is 54. It's 54.1. You are not current. Honorable Edu, you are not current. It's 54. That is the December. So that is maybe that is why.
My brother is a yesterday man.
That it will take a long period for the refund to be made, because if we have 83 and if 31 has been paid, 62 is outstanding. No, 52 is outstanding, and 1,500 a month. 52,000 divided by 1,005. That's 35 months, 3 years. Even without interest.
Honorable Chairman, we've had a lot of conversations with Mr. Sombo, and I made it clear to him that he needs to revise his plan. And we have it. And in fact, as of last night, we even spoke. He called me. And I told him that he needs to revise it, otherwise we are going to refer this matter to the Ghana Police Service. We were very clear. I was very clear with him on that issue. And because we were in Accra, he said that when we come back to Tamale, we'll sit down and relook at the payment plan.
So you need to revise the rates upwards. Yeah. So at least if it take 2 years, it will be better than the 3 years.
Citizen TV Ghana. About 2 p.m. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. A Citizen Show. They bring on Citizen TV Ghana. Me pacho Citizen TV Ghana.